What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Between the Cons. My name is Chris, and with me today, my lovely wife, Michaelanne.
I'm Mrs. Hatfield.
You're so weird. But we are here today, Monday, coming at you. We've got a new type of roundtable. Yesterday, we went and saw a couple movies, so we're going to review those for you. I went and saw Kingsman, The Golden Circle. She saw Mother!
It's not quite that jovial.
Mother! Exclamation point. But she went and saw that. I saw Kingsman, so we're going to review those for you today. But really quick, thanks to everybody for hitting us up on the internet this week for reviewing the show on whatever you listen to the show on. Thank you for those things. If you haven't done those things, do those things, because we like that. But yeah, let's get into this roundtable.
Chewie, we're home. Live long and prosper.
We don't need roads.
We'd like to shoot the monster. Could you move, please?
So as I said, we went to the movies yesterday and actually split ways at the door. Michaelanne went and saw Mother, the newest Darren Aronofsky flick, and I went and saw the wonderful ridiculousness that was Kingsman, The Golden Circle. So we're going to split again, and Michaelanne's going to tell you guys a little bit about Mother, rate it for you, give you guys her love it and hate it, and then I'll go on for Kingsman. So the floor is yours, madam.
Okay, well, for a Darren Aronofsky film, I would give this an 8 shudders out of 10.
Things that make you go, buh.
This was a good movie. I always enjoy Darren Aronofsky films. That's hard to say, Darren Aronofsky.
Darren Aronofsky.
I always enjoy his films just because they're super intense, and you always need a few minutes at the end of the movie to just sit there in silence while you process.
Just while the credits roll.
Yeah. So,
well, really quick.
Yes,
For
sir.
those of you that don't know what Mother is, it is a couple's relationship is tested when uninvited guests arrive at their home, disrupting their tranquil existence. You gave it an 8. IMDb has it at a 6.9 out of 10, Metascore of 74, and the Tomatometer has 67% and 45% audience score. So it did not do well with the critics, but you've got it at an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, and I think that's just because I'm such a big fan of his movies,
Mm-hmm.
and because it is very, very intense in par with the rest of his films.
Right.
I imagine that it's not super popular just because
It scared people away.
it scares people. It's very emotional. I cried through most of it, and it's a little tough to understand, just like most of his flicks. But I would rate it pretty high just because I, on a strange level, kind of related to it, sort of.
That is weird. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Yes. So I think right now it's listed as like a thriller drama, and I would put it more in line with a horror movie.
So now is the time. If you have not seen the movie and you do not want it spoiled, stop here.
It's very intense as far as... It reminded me a little bit of Straw Dogs, the original one with Dustin Hoffman, where it's this man who is refusing to protect his family the way that he should. And unlike Straw Dogs, Dustin Hoffman in that one, he was unwilling to protect his family because he was so scared. Whereas Javier Bardem in Mother was refusing to protect his family because he was being selfish. Essentially, he wanted his 15 minutes of fame, and he was going to do anything it took to get that, much to the cost of Jennifer Lawrence's character and their baby. Sorry, spoiler alert. They have a baby.
Yeah, we already sounded the spoiler alarm at this point.
Okay. So my love-its were that it was so emotional and intense. People who don't suffer from anxiety or depression get a really good idea of what it's like to live with anxiety and depression, just through what Jennifer Lawrence has to go through when her husband allows strangers to invade their home. What she feels and goes through when these people walk all over her, and her husband essentially allows it. And it's a little bit of a feminist film in the sense that it really attacks, it shows how her husband and society in general attacks her femininity when she is expected to behave a certain way. And if she stands up for herself, people call her the word that rhymes with witch. She is not allowed to stand up for herself. She's not allowed to tell people that they can't do something or that they're wrong. Otherwise, she is seen as a terrible person. Mm-hmm. And then her husband's generosity is just so overwhelming and kind, and so she's made into the enemy for just simply not wanting complete strangers sleeping in her house, taking over her kitchen, ruining the things that she spent so long building, her artwork and the house that they're building. Mm-hmm. It's very, very intense. Towards the end of the movie, I'd say the last quarter of the movie is very intense, as it kind of, builds into Javier Bardem having all of these crazy fans, and then they become obsessed and become like cult-like followers, and then all of a sudden it becomes this war zone of, this society that's just falling apart from lack of government, from lack of food, from lack of authority, anything that's like, what happens when society just crumbles. People are being murdered, their baby ends up being, sacrificed, and all because Javier Bardem's character wants his 15 minutes of fame. And there's this great point in the movie when after she has their baby, she realizes that he is not about to let his fans just go. And she asks him, please just make everybody leave our house. We need 5 minutes alone with our baby. And he won't let that happen. And so she won't let him touch the baby, mm-hmm. because she knows she can't trust him. And the second she falls asleep, he takes the baby and kind of holds it up like Lion King style, and the crowd goes wild. And then all of a sudden the baby disappears, because that's the point when they take it to sacrifice. And it is so intense. So I would definitely recommend, if you're pregnant or if your wife is pregnant or your girlfriend or whoever, do not see this movie.
Do not watch this. Not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. So it was great as far as the intensity and emotion, and I would definitely place it more in the horror genre. Mm-hmm. What I didn't like, I think, moving into my hate-its, Jennifer Lawrence's acting was a little bit vapid. And I think that's
one of the biggest critiques of it, is that it was cast for the name, not for the ability.
Well, not necessarily. So I think that, and it did take away from the movie a little bit for me. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like for a lot of other people, but I think there was a purpose behind it. Okay. I think she had to be a little bit vapid in order to pronounce the femininity that will eventually be attacked. And so if she has a personality, that's something that society doesn't necessarily like, because they want her to be easy to walk all over.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it was a little vapid, and I think it may have been a little bit too vapid, but I think there was a point behind it to pronounce that that femininity that was going to be attacked.
Okay. That's all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got. I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it, especially to those who like Darren Aronofsky films, those who like horror films that aren't just blood and gore, but more of like the mind. It just messes with your head.
Yeah, and in case anyone's out there that doesn't recognize the name Darren Aronofsky, most well known for probably Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan. Also directed Pi, directed The Fountain back in the early 2000s. That one had Hugh Jackman in it.
Yeah, it had Wolverine.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman and Rachel Weisz, I think. So he's got a lot of good stuff under his belt. Twisted stuff, but good nonetheless. So recommendation, go see it. 8 shivers out of 10.
Yeah, and I would really be interested. I'm not much for searching forums because of all the negativity that ends up on them. But if you saw it and liked it, write in. Let us know what you think, because I would really like to know if anybody got a different meaning behind the whole movie, or if they think that I'm completely wrong. Or, and we're willing to hear you if you disagree with me as well. If you hated it, tell us why, but be nice.
He also directed The Wrestler. I didn't realize that.
Ooh, that one had Mickey Rourke.
Yeah. And Marissa Tomei and Evan Rachel Wood. He said, reading from IMDb. But anyways, to sum it all up, go see it. Go see Mother. It was worth it. 8 out of 10. Twisted, don't see it if you're pregnant, but it's a good watch. Now on to Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Kingsman, The Golden Circle is the sequel to Kingsman, The Secret Service. Came out a couple years ago, 2015, I think. 2014, pardon. And it is about the British underground intelligence agency. This one opens it up, shows that there's really branches of this in the US and the UK, and introduces the Statesman. In the movie, when the headquarters are destroyed and the world is held hostage, the Kingsman's journey leads them to the discovery of an allied spy organization in the US. These two elite secret organizations must band together to defeat a common enemy. That is the IMDb plot synopsis. IMDb score of 7.4 out of 10, Metacritic score of 46, and Tomatometer is at 51% with an audience score of 75. I'm actually going to rate this one a 7. It was everything I wanted it to be. Nothing more, nothing less. I thought that it was a good, fun sequel to a good, fun movie. It was not an excellent movie by any means. It was entertaining. It was over the top, ridiculous, funny. I mean, it was perfect for me, in my opinion. It was exactly what I wanted it to be, but actually, as a movie, I would give it maybe a 7. He says, shaking his hand. Like, 7. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm jumping into Love It's and Hate It's.
So now is the time. If you have not seen the movie and you do not want it spoiled, stop here.
My Love It is Elton John in the movie. Just every time Elton John's on screen. Elton John was...
It's Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton John. He was held captive by Poppy as a result of the first movie, where Samuel L. Jackson came in and kidnapped all these celebrities. She actually kidnapped Elton John because it was like good timing, basically. So she has him playing at Poppyland in her own little Colombian hideaway, secluded hideaway, playing shows in a theater that she has built. And it's awesome. And then at the end of the movie, he actually gets involved in one of the fight scenes, and it is the coolest thing ever. Other things that I loved, the soundtrack and the score were outstanding. It reminded me a little bit of Westworld, but the opposite. Whereas Westworld took pop songs and made them Western, Kingsman: The Golden Circle took country songs and made them a score.
That's awesome.
Like old school country songs. One of the main songs that is pervasive in the film is Country Roads Take Me Home. And it's actually like in one of the most absolute heaviest painful scenes of the movie. Mark Strong's character Merlin winds up sacrificing himself for Galahad and Galahad, Eggsy and Harry, Colin Firth and Taron Egerton's characters. Mark Strong winds up sacrificing himself for him, and as a part of that, he starts singing Country Roads at the top of his lungs to like distract the guards over to him. And when he does, it starts like playing this really pretty orchestral Country Roads behind him, like as a part of the score, and it's really intense. And then all of this is happening because he is standing on a landmine. All the guards come over, he picks up his foot, they all blow up. It's pretty intense. I got kind of emotional twice during the movie, that one, and then the other one being when Harry remembered who he was, and it was all revolving around Mr. Pickle. For those of you that don't remember Mr. Pickle, that was his pet dog from the first one that he had stuffed.
Oh. That's what I'm gonna do with you when you die.
Wow. Okay. My hate it was that statement that you just made. No, my hate it was there was a little bit too much going on. I felt there was a bit of political conspiracy where like the president, basically Poppy, who is the leader of like the world's largest drug cartel, she poisons her own drugs and then holds the entire world hostage basically to legalize drug use and tax it and all this so she can stop having to hide in the Colombian mountains, completely secluded from everything. But there's this aspect where the president, who like he doesn't want to fix it. Like he wants all these people that have used illegal drugs to die because he's super conservative, and it's like, well, when we get rid of these people, like there goes the scum of our country, of the world, and when they die, good, because they're lawbreakers. And it's that whole arc was a little bit much, on top of everything else that was going on with the Kingsman headquarters being destroyed, the introduction of the Statesman, the whole story behind Harry Hart being alive and trying to get him to remember things. Poppy, the side story of Charlie, the former Kingsman recruit, like being on her side and being kind of her mole, like all of this stuff there was just a lot going on anyways. And I felt like the presidential government conspiracy thing was what kind of pushed it over the edge as far as too much plot. I think that had they left that out, it would have gotten higher scores, honestly. But I thought it was a great movie. There were a lot of callbacks, so I know Dane is going to be really pleased about that. A lot of callbacks to the first movie, and on top of that, a lot of callbacks to just pop culture in general. So really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was the best way to potentially close out the Kingsman story. The first one was good by itself. I think the second one was just as good. I wouldn't say it's any better or any worse. I would say it was perfect the way it is. It does open up a little bit opportunity for future Kingsman movies. But we'll see. I mean, it could go either way. The movie's doing really well so far. As far as in the box office, it's doing well. So there's potential that they could hit the numbers that they need to hit, especially worldwide, to make another sequel. But yeah, that's my take on it. I think it was good. I think that it should, everybody should watch it that was a fan of the first movie. You'll enjoy it just as much, I think. Yeah. So that's where I am. 7 out of 10 for Kingsman: The Golden Circle. 8 out of 10 for Mother. Darren Aronofsky. Drama horror.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, go watch the movies. Let us know what you think. If you liked them, if you hated them. What were your favorite moments? What were your least favorite moments? And then hit us up on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. You can comment on our blog post on betweenthecons.com. You can do all this stuff. But that's it. That's it for the show. Quick and dirty, getting out of your hair. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Someone's got a case of the Mondays.
All right, then. If you guys want to support the show, Amazon, Patreon, and Satchel is how you do it. Check out Afixa on Bandcamp. Betweenthecons.com/Bandcamp will take you to his site. He's where we get our dubstep. And then subscribe. Subscribe to the show. We release new content every Monday and Thursday. And that's why you're here. So subscribe. Enjoy it regularly. And then tune in on Thursday. We're going to be back. We're going to be hitting the headlines in a Pineapple episode. And you don't want to miss out. So subscribe. Tune in on Thursday. Have a great week. And we will talk to you then.
Pineapple.